In a society riddled by disasters due to increases in climate change, we often see headlines about these massive disasters hitting communities around us. This led me to spend the past 10 weeks analyzing how news coverage impacts social vulnerability of communities during natural disasters and immediately after. I specifically chose to look at queer community vulnerability during HIV and AIDS, Hurricane Katrina, and COVID-19. HIV and AIDS was referred to as gay plague or gay cancer for the large part of the beginning of the epidemic until it started impacting more heterosexual people and heterosexual couples, and it transitioned to more discussing it as AIDS or HIV. Hurricane Katrina was often described as retribution to the sinners of the city, which was referencing queer communities that were preparing to celebrate Southern decadence, which never occurred in 2005 due to the hurricane. COVID-19 often either completely validates the struggles of queer communities during the pandemic and the isolation as it impacted their mental health specifically, or just completely didn't mention them at all in the articles, which is something I found very curious. I further narrowed my research down into mainstream articles versus alternative articles, like the New York Times versus the Windy City Times. I found from my preliminary data that mainstream news articles had the highest rates of vulnerability or of passive marginalization of the vulnerability, whereas alternative news sources had the highest rate of structural validation of these vulnerabilities and occurrences happening. But don't let that fool you, they also have the second highest rate of marginalization in these disasters, which is very interesting and only showing further that if people pillar of sustainability is never quite going to get to the point where it's doing what it wants to do in sustainability goals, because you can't really meet a sustainability goal if you have such vulnerable communities being disregarded repetitively. Thank you.